We're here in the land of bagpipes and myths, and we're perched right at the northern end of Loch Ness, home of the fabled Loch Ness monster. And it's from here that our adventure shall begin, following recent sightings of a UFO. And to help me in my quest, I'm in a new release from gotfriends, developers renowned for both their freeware and payware product, and follows hard on the heels of the Stolemaster the Wilga. My review linked in the notes below. But this little beauty is something completely different. It's a small single-seat helicopter. It's the Mini 500, and it is exquisitely detailed, and an absolute pleasure to fly. Uses the new native helicopter flight model following the last update. It comes with more liveries than you'll probably ever use, and a bucket load of nice little touches. It's payware, and it'll set you back US $15. I much prefer this helicopter to the Cabri. It's far less twitchy. I'm not saying the flight model's dumbed down, far from it. But gotfriends somehow have made this easier to fly, and according to some more realistic. I'd love to tell you more about it, and perhaps I can on the way, but we've got to go. We've been asked to identify the UFO, or unidentified floating object. Could it be Nessie? Welcome back to the Sim Hangar. My name's Mark. Thanks very much for watching, and let's get started. The cockpit is basic, but with everything you need. These are our indicator lights, airspeed and altitude, climb indicator, engine and rotor, RPM indicator. Our electrical switches on the bottom, and it has a swing out tablet on the right hand side. Functionality is fairly basic, but will be expanded over time to incorporate third-party apps. I've hidden the cyclic for now. Click here to put on your headphones, and it reduces the noise. Add or subtract doors, great handy feature for bushfire. Dash lights, and the right-handmost switch allows you to swap the avionics from the standard radios to include a GNS 530. We'll stick with the standard radios for today. Let's get this beast started. Everything you need's within easy reach. First of all, the battery, and then our alternator on. And our cockpit comes alive. Quick, simple and easy. Let's put on the dome light for improved visibility, especially as I'm recording this, and we'll be starting soon, so beacon light on as well. It does come with its own checklists. A number of basic functions are available via the tablet, including 3D vision, which could be useful if you're caught out. Bear in mind this is VFR only, but today we'll stick with the map. And this is effectively the InSim VFR map. It comes with 2 digital displays, and you can cycle through a variety of functions, range and time, landing deviation, fuel, engine and temperature monitoring, and turbine load. The engine installed is a T62 turbine engine. Let's put on the dash lights quickly, and that's our prep done. Let's get this baby started. Open up the fuel valve, then close the cover to keep it protected, and just below that fuel pump can go on. Rotor brake off or fully forward. Let's bring our cyclic back into view. We need this, and to start we simply press down the green button. With the engine starting up, let's close the door, and when shut, note the sound difference. My compliments to gotfriends on the sound pack included with the Mini 500. With the engine started, let's put our nav lights on, and we'll be taking off any moment, so landing lights on as well. RPM and temperatures look okay. Everything seems to be stabilized, so we can turn the fuel pump off. And we're ready to rock and roll. Just going to adjust my bottom LCD display to engine monitoring, and for takeoff I'll change the top one to landing deviation. Quick check on our map so we can see where we're going. We're currently based at the northern end of Loch Ness, and our unidentified floating object is somewhere here. It's been spotted by some tourists visiting Urquhart Castle. We'll keep to the west, keeping out of sight, then over Urquhart Castle and into the loch so we don't scare it off, whatever it may be. I'm expecting Nessie. How about you? Quick test of our rudders and our cyclic. Make sure all our controls are free and clear, and then we'll raise the collective and be on our way. Gotfriends have modelled effects over ground and water, as well as icing and so on. And now slowly and gradually we'll raise the collective and get out of here. The governor's not yet implemented a restriction of Microsoft Flight Simulator pending Sim Update 12, and the devs have confirmed it will be implemented. Just got to be a bit careful on the lift here. I've got trees all around me and a house to my left. We'll gain a little bit of height and then move out over Loch Ness. I am flying today only with the rudder assist on. As mentioned earlier, she's far less twitchy, yet responsive, and I just feel I've got much better control. Not sure what they've done with the flight model, and have absolutely zero real-world experience in a helicopter. We're going to gain a little bit of altitude, we're going to be heading south and sticking to the west bank. But before we do so, let me demonstrate some of the handling characteristics of the Mini 500. My collective's at about 60%, I'm holding my nose up, reducing my climb, and my plan now is to hover. Now just feeding in a little bit of trim as needed to get me leveled out, and we're there. And now I'm in the perfect hover. If you're new to helicopter flying, this is the perfect starter for you. This is the ideal helicopter to cut your teeth on. Rather than some of the other third-party recent releases, they're difficult to manage and fly. You'll lose patience and end up leaving it in your hangar. For me, well, the Mini 500's going to get a whole lot of airtime. This helicopter is going to be great for bush trips, and with the number of liveries, well, it's just perfect for multiplayer. I feel an event coming soon. Anyway, enough of that, let's get on. Otherwise, Nessie's likely to be gone by the time we get there. If it is Nessie, of course. Or perhaps it's just a log floating in the loch. But we're going to stay relatively low, climb over this high ground so the noise from our rotors doesn't carry too far, so we don't scare it off. Pushing my nose down now and gaining some speed. Recommended cruise around 99 knots or about 180 kilometers an hour, which is plenty fast enough for our leg today. I've just gained a little bit more altitude just to clear the high ground coming up, and then it dips away to a valley. On the far side, pointing out into the loch, will be our castle. You can just see the turret of the castle at about 10-11 o'clock. We're going to dip down into the valley. We'll then reduce our airspeed so the noise of our rotors doesn't scare it away. Must say I can't see anything at this stage. You'll notice the cyclic and the overhead compass vibrates. The compass can be removed just by clicking on it. I'll just hide the cyclic just for a moment, and directly in front of that you'll see a knob. Cycle this to increase or reduce the amount of vibration. Nice little feature. We're going to be making a turn any minute, so let's get the cyclic back. We're low enough. Now a sharp turn to our left. You'll find this helicopter very maneuverable and responsive to rudder input. We're now approaching the loch and the castle. The castle will be just over this ridge, and I've just had a report that the foreign object is still visible. Well, we'll know soon enough. We'll come over this ridge. We're coming out of hiding now. There's the castle on our left. You know what? There is something in the water there. At about 1 o'clock. This may be our chance to dispel the myth of Nessie and prove that it's something real. Let's go and take a closer look. I've slowed and we're approaching it head on. There it is. What is it? I may be wrong, but I think that's the greatly feared bathroom duck. A deadly hazard for those with children when stepping out the bath. What a vicious beast that is. Bit disappointed, I was hoping for Nessie, but nonetheless, let's try and position and go in for a closer look at this feared accessory. Reducing the collective now to drop down. It's a little bit windy today. I've got gusts at about 7-8 knots. Well, I think that's the bathroom duck, but could it be a baby Nessie? What are your views? Doesn't seem to be moving much. Slight movement with the wind. but fairly static. So we should be able to get a little bit closer, and the stability of this helicopter just makes the whole process a whole lot easier. Love those water effects as you get low to the water. We'll try one more pass, and we'll head back to Urquhart Castle. There we'll be able to calm the tourists and get a message to the Navy and Army to stand down. Think we'll be fine to put her down here somewhere. Small adjustments of the collective, more or less get her into a hover just above the ground, and we're down. Rotor blades kicking up a whole lot of dust. So let's quickly shut her down. And the way you shut her down is simply to cut off the fuel. So let's close the fuel valve and apply the rotor brake. This will speed up the shutdown period. Our lights can come off. Landing, nav, dome lights 2. And our dash lights. Rotors are now slowing, temperature's cooling, so our alternator and battery lights can go off. And we're shut down. Open the door, get some fresh air in. We'll just have a quick look over the lock. We should still be able to see that foreign object. Yes, there it is. Oh well, Nessie has avoided us yet again, and so for now must remain a myth. And for those interested, the Mini 500 has just had an update at time of recording. And I suppose being at Loch Ness and expecting to see or find a UFO, perhaps our expectations were just too high. But nonetheless, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it useful and informative. Stay well, look after yourselves. I'll see you soon, and bye for now.